Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of the Pondcast. Today's episode, From the Deep End, Mexican Jumping Bean Pokemon. I'm your host, Draco, and joining me today is Chase.
What's cracking, everybody?
Sun.
What up?
And Guren.
Hello, Resident Edgelord here, everybody.
And let's get into it. So, I've started thinking about some concepts about what would be a really cool Pokemon to see down the line in the series. And so, this particular Pokemon, I was kind of inspired by Sudowoodo. You know how Sudowoodo is a rock-type Pokemon, but kind of looks like a tree? I was thinking this Mon would look like a rock in its base form, but is actually a grass bug type. Because, I guess, to start off, I'll explain what the whole Mexican jumping bean thing is. Have you guys ever heard of this or seen it?
Well,
so.
we don't have a Mexico where I'm from. I have heard of it.
No.
Okay. The Mexican jumping bean, what it is actually it's a larva of a moth inside of a bean. And the reason it jumps is because it's trying to get away from heat sources. And it's so sensitive that the heat of the palm of your hand is enough to start freaking out the larva inside the bean. And it bangs its head on the inner wall of the bean to try and move it away from the heat source, which is why they jump. I remember these as a kid. You know, I walked into the toy store and they had these like Mexican jumping beans, and they had them in a little plastic container, and you would hold the container and it's like bing, 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 bing. They just start bouncing, and I didn't know what it was, and then I started looking it up recently. I was like, oh, so it's an actual bug type inside of a bean. But yeah, they'll eat a hole out and then they'll cover it with silk as they're starting to form their cocoon, and they live most of their lives inside of this bean. It is their food source, it is their home, it is their protection. And then once they turn into a moth, they kick the door out, they escape the bean, they fly to the next to the trees that have these beans on them, they lay their eggs, and the cycle starts over again with the larva.
So, if ever find these beans out in the wild, do not eat?
They're not, I don't believe they're edible for humans.
Oh.
So the concept on this one was, you know, it looks like a rock. It's a grass bug type. It would have moves like String Shot, the Silk Web, but also moves like Bounce. Because, of course, that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to bounce. It's trying to get away. But even though it looks like a rock. And I actually touched base with Subarashii, and he sent me this as part of the concept idea, which I like. It was for a different concept, but he recolored it for me.
Yo.
That does look quite
I like it.
cool.
It gives me like Metapod vibes. No, like Metapod Kakuna vibes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing on that.
Nice.
Oh, interesting. So it's like got you. Wait,
Yep.
so it's like a net type Pokemon? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would get your standard early bug type moves, but you wouldn't see anything major until the full evolution, because you're gonna have a very limited pool here. Again, the bug is inside the bean, so it's using the bean basically like a shell. So you see moves like Harden. It spins its cocoon inside of the bean to evolve, but it also creates an exit hatch. So things like
Emergency exit?
yeah. So the ability like emergency exit, it starts taking damage, it bounces out. The flying type bounce. I mean, you could even give it rollout just for a little coverage, but obviously being a grass bug type, it's still going to eat a lot of damage from fire attacks. But again, it's to help that dissuasion of, oh, it looks like a rock, so I'm not going to use a flying type, or I'm not going to use a fire type, which ironically are the two biggest weaknesses for that particular typing. So that's why I said it kind of works the way, it kind of reminds me of Sudowoodo. When you think about it, it's a rock type, but it looks like a tree. So you wouldn't use water on the tree, you would want to use fire, but fire is weak to rock. And then, of course, there's the evolution of it, which it becomes this moth called... It's known as the jumping bean moth, but it's also known as Sedia Siltitans.
Sedia Titan? Another regional form of Titan? No.
Cell Titan, not the Titan. But, they look like that. And
oh my god, that looks like a huge bug. What the hell?
It's not that big. That's the thing.
They look
'Cause
like
what
the unholiest spawn of Satan.
Still ain't touching it. Still ain't touching it.
But of course, it evolves. It comes out of the bean. It evolves into a flying bug type.
Oh, okay.
So you'll get a whole different set of skills on that one. But that was the concept idea that I was thinking about when I was just one day. I was like, why don't we have more interesting Pokemon? A jumping beam Pokemon, I think would be great.
That'd be kind of cool. Although for some reason, like when I first heard you say jumping beam Pokemon, for some odd reason, I was thinking of it having actual like it went
Legs.
towards the humanoid, yeah. So like the legs and I'm like, no, but we can't have more humanoid looking Pokemon. We need more non-humanoid looking Pokemon. See, yeah, those are really nice. So if we can have that incorporated into like jumping beam, I think Subarashii did a really good job though with this one. So that pretty good.
A good idea for the evolution could be, so looking at the real life versions of the beans, they sort of split in half. So when it evolves, maybe it splits those open and it uses those as its wings. So it can still close up and look like a rock if it needs to.
Oh heck yeah, yo, it's sick. Yeah,
That's actually not a bad idea. I like that.
Yeah, because Flapple technically does the same thing, right? Like his apple
Yeah.
parts are still on his wings, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be so sick. Oh, it can be more of a disguise still too, right? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
actually, what about it? What about that getting the disguise treatment? So it goes from having emergency exit, it evolves into having disguise, and and the wings for the shells for the shell of the bean for the wings. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And giving it disguise would actually give it just a little bit more utilization because that means it's not going to go down on the first hit. You've got to hit it twice.
Yeah, and then since it's a bug type, first impression, baby.
Oh hell yeah! Another
Actually.
secondary ability for it, or hidden ability for it, could be shell armor as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, it is a bug.
Literally on
Let's
the
see.
nose, but
What is it? If you put them in the higher heat temperatures and never put any water, they will eventually just dry out and die.
Oh. I'm having trouble imagining like when they do come out, like let's say you do want the moths to come out, right? And you do that water thing that you're talking about, they all gonna fit in there? In that plastic container? And then like imagine you just come back to it and they're all like just
actual
cram
live
packed.
creature. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's inside, my boy. It's inside.
Yeah, you gotta soak them. They need to be soaked but not submerged for about 3 hours in water twice a month.
so basically what you're saying is we can give them on them soak as well to turn every other Pokemon into a water type.
Yes. Yes. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Hey,
Ooh,
that's another
that's a
ability.
good one.
I think we're thinking on the same page here.
It soaks to turn the Pokemon into a water type, and it's already a grass type, which means now it's got an advantage.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, that
oh.
is gonna be nasty. I like where this went.
Okay, we were not on the same page there. I was thinking, oh, what if it has like water absorb or storm drain now?
Well, that only works for moves, but if it had soak, it turns the target into a water type, which means, oh, I've got this fire type. No, now that's a water type that shoots fire. So you
Let's
just lost
go.
stab, but you're a water type. I'm gonna just go ahead and absorb you now and heal for double damage.
Let's go.
I like where this. I like that thought. I like that thought. The evolution gets bug buzz. Maybe solar beam. Make it a special attacker. Seriously, just make it a special attacker.
If you make it a physical attacker, we can give it rollout as well.
Well, I mean, it can still get rollout. It's just not going to be as effective because rollout works off of your defense.
Unless it has a high defense.
Yeah, and if you use, what is it? I think it's Iron Coal or whatever it is. Your rollout goes up one stage, so you go from stage 2 rollout on. I remember it from Gen
Oh,
3
defense
where-
curl?
Defense Coal. There we go.
There's a lot of really cool ideas that we can come up with for this and just kind of bounce them around. No pun intended. And kick them around with
Very much intended.
But this one I was kind of glad. I was like, ooh, And I knew you guys would come up with some really good ideas as far as movesets go. But yeah, I like the soak. I like the I like giving it rollout with defense curl.
Defense curl.
See, defense curl also doubles the power of the user's rollout and ice ball as long as the user remains in battle. This effect does not stack with itself. Yeah, so it boosts the power. It doubles the power.
Okay, so are we talking about like a one stage evolution or two?
This one would just have the evolution from bug to moth.
The creature you're talking about, the little bug in a nutshell, right? Whatever you call it. I was thinking it'd be cool if it was if it evolved into like a bug dragon type though.
Oh, we finally got our first bug dragon type. Let's go. I'd be down.
That's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, it could be like one of those Pokemon. It's like, oh man, this thing looks weak and brittle. And it's totally not gonna have a cool bad A evolution, you know?
Yeah, like
that
Pokemon Wimpod. It looks weak, but when it evolves into Galistopod, oof, it's very strong though.
Just sucks because of the emergency exit thing, which can be kind of good depending on how when it procs. But
yeah. But again, you're talking about first stage versus second stage, so.
What if it had an ability similar to Armor Rouge's, being able to top its armor and lowers its defense? But what if when it gets hit by, let's say, a fire type move, those like little nutshells on its wings break off and it boosts like its speed or something of that nature? Something similar to what weak armor does.
I could see that. I mean, I could see it having the move where it like similar to Armor Rouge, where it just fires off the shell out, and yeah, it'll lose defenses. But it would be the move equivalent of weak armor, where you're at least getting an attack off. It might even be even if it's a weak attack, but you're dropping your defenses, but you're also boosting your speed while doing a little bit of damage while you're at it. I could see that.
Or like, what if it had the same ability as Cloth too? Like, was it Anger Shell or something? What if it had that instead? I don't know. Sorry, I was just wondering because like we were talking about shell armor, so I was like, it'd also be kind of or weak armor.
Ooh, no, Anger Shell actually makes a lot of sense because you just broke its home. It's gonna be ticked.
My house.
Yeah. No, I actually would dig Anger Shell with this. Grass bug type that evolves into a bug dragon with Anger Shell from emergency exit. So yeah, both, and in a sense it kind of works because both require the hit points to hit the halfway mark for them to activate. So it's like, oh, I've taken damage later, or oh, I've taken damage. You've broken my home. Now you must die. I like where this went.
Just saying it's either beta male or extreme sigma.
Heck yeah. Definitely want to say that was definitely an interesting Pokemon concept, and like having like a jumping bean thing. Finally knowing what a jumping bean is and like having that as a Pokemon, I think that would have been a great idea for sure. Like if they ever do make one in the future, listen to us, Game Freak. This is an idea, please.
Shuckle, doesn't Shuckle have
Shell Smash?
Yeah, Shell Smash. There you go. Thank you.
Shell Smash.
Give it Shell Smash, or right before it would get its evolution level.
Yeah, like it's ready. It's ready to break out. Oh, that'd be sick.
Break out.
Like I said, I can see it being a special attacker, but with a good defense. Give it defense curl, give it rollout. At that point you don't have to worry about the physical attack because it runs off of defense. Give it the move bounce, give it absorb. I like the idea of soak. Give it the silk moves, the string shots, the silk web. Some of the traditional bug defense moves that are out there. Give it some of the grass sustain.
It definitely needs infestation as well.
Infestation.
Oh, yes. Infestation, and I don't know. What do you guys think about Seed Bomb?
Yeah,
Seed Bomb would be a good one.
Seed Bomb.
Or not, maybe not Seed Bomb, but maybe Bullet Seed.
I think both can work. I feel like both could work.
Or at least when it evolves, give it that, because it's gonna drop the nuts on or the seeds on somebody's head.
Yeah.
I like where this went. I'm glad I didn't spoil it. I didn't tell anybody anything. I just I want to get this one out there, but I want to get your first ideas out. And with that, brings the episode to a close. Let us know what you think about this concept. What are your thoughts about the Mexican Jumping Bean based Pokemon and an evolution into Bug Flying, or even better, Bug Dragon? Give Game Freak an excuse to actually finally give us one. Let us know down below. And remember, share, like, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day. Bye.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Hope everyone have a good day. Bye.